This week on The Splash, we enjoy music, food, and fun at Marshbank Park. Then, we visit West Bloomfield's annual Fine Art Show. And later, we get an inside look at West Bloomfield Fire Station 3. The Splash is the production of Civic Center TV. We're a news magazine that covers everything from local news to feature stories, all so that we can bring you the latest from the greater West Bloomfield area. And now, let's dive into The Splash.
Hello and welcome to The Splash. I'm Erica Jones. Marshbank Park is the place to be on Wednesday nights throughout the summer. Each week, a band takes the stage and food trucks come out for the Marshbank Music Series. I stopped by the event to listen to some music and join the excitement with our community.
What's going on, Marshbank Park?
Every summer, tons of people come out to Marshbank Park for nights of music, food, and fun. The park turns into a concert venue and food truck rally where families and friends come together for the Marshbank Music Series.
The Marshbank Music Series is a long-standing tradition here in West Bloomfield. We have a bunch of food trucks that came out. We have a great band lined up.
The Dan Rafferty Band is on stage this week with a packed house to entertain, something we surely haven't seen in a while. The pandemic did not completely cancel the series last summer, but it looked very different. This summer, we're back and at full capacity, ready to continue the traditions residents know and love.
We did have the event last year, but it was a very scaled back version. We could only have 100 people in the park. So last week for our first series, we had about 500 people. It was just so great to see so many families out enjoying the live music and being together again.
The music series draws in many regulars who look forward to seeing new bands and tasting new foods each week. They come out to the park with not only their families, but their furry friends too.
Well, we love bringing my dogs here, and we love just listening to music, and sometimes we go on the play structures. The food trucks are always so good.
So tonight we have the Salt and Sugar Company, and they do a lot of organic type food. They have a lot of salads, a little healthier. And then we have Kaya Smokehouse, and they do barbecue type food. And then we also have Treat Dreams, which is our cookie and ice cream truck.
The event is open to anyone and everyone, so whether you want to dance around on the hill or play a game of cornhole, you'll find something to draw you in.
For this event, that's one of the best parts, is it really is a mix. We have families with young kids that come all the way up to seniors. So the event really does have something for everyone. So we definitely have a wide audience range.
And this beautiful night here at Marshbank Music Series calls for a nice cold drink. Good thing Lakeland Baseball is here and they have got us covered.
The Youth Baseball League is here every week selling drinks to add a little pop and fizz to the night. If you're 21 and up, you can head on over to the beer and wine tent to support our very own baseball league.
We've done this now. This is in our third year. Everything goes back to the boys and girls of this league. So for their fields, for their uniforms and everything, umpires, fees and everything to keep the costs low. We have a fantastic turnout. So many people are so generous and giving tips. Working this is an amazing experience. So many nice people. The community is fantastic. And we just love coming out here and being able to see the music too.
The last installment of this year's Marshbank Music Series is Wednesday, July 28th. So be sure to grab a friend and head on out to the park for a West Bloomfield summer experience you won't want to miss.
Reporting for The Splash, I'm Erica Jones. You can find more information at our website at civiccentertv.com/marshbankmusic2021. Last week, we took you to the Ann Arbor Art Fair, and this week, we have even more art for you. But we don't need to travel anywhere. The West Bloomfield Fine Art Show took place over the weekend, right here on Orchard Lake Road. Reporter Daniel Zivian brings us the story.
Boy, do we love fine art. This past Saturday and Sunday, the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show went on for the first time since the pandemic began. Along with most other art shows, this one was canceled in 2020, leaving a sizable gap in the lives of working artists all over the globe. Peta Ohiwere, who drove up from Georgia, tried to make the most of quarantine.
So it was a very rough period, I'll tell you, for about 18 months. There was really nothing done except painting. Most of these paintings were produced within that time. I still have a lot more at home. So at least that was one good thing about the pandemic. It kept us at home. We produced a lot of paintings or a lot of artworks.
As for Pennsylvania artist Domenico Bailey, the lifting of restrictions has proven to be the morale boost he's needed to go on.
Things had to move up again a little bit, and from there I figured that it was worth it, the shot. Keep on making sculptures because that's what I like to do. So finally we be able to be out there again. People are comfortable. I'm comfortable around people. And business is pretty good.
The rejuvenated art show also featured hundreds of buyers, live music, and several caterers, including Farmington Hills restaurant India Flavors. Unfortunately, before the show could proceed, there was one more setback to worry about. On Saturday evening, yet another summer storm rocked the Metro Detroit area, causing flash floods. But despite the inclement weather, this year's art show has been a thundering success. For The Splash, I'm Daniel Zivian.
To know more, you can visit civiccentertv.com/WB Fine Arts Show 2021. We're going to take one quick break, and when we return, we'll take you on a tour of one of our fire stations right here in West Bloomfield.
Don't go away. You're watching The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Can I ask you a question? Why'd you get vaccinated?
I'd like to go to these school dances and spring break to have fun.
I want to be in person for college next semester.
I want to get out of this pandemic.
I wanted to protect the people around me.
Why did you get vaccinated?
Because I'm really looking forward to hanging out with my friends.
I just want to go to a show, dance around, not have to worry about anything, feel like I'm free again.
So we can not miss out on the best years of our life.
And now, back to The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Welcome back to The Splash. I'm Erica Jones. Our frontline workers have been working all around the clock during the pandemic to keep our communities safe. We recently had West Bloomfield Fire Chief Greg Flynn on the Oakland County Megacast to give us a tour of one of our local fire stations. Reporter Jake Kustosh has the story.
Hey, you. Wanna see something cool? I got a one-of-a-kind, rare, inside look into Fire Station number 3 from the West Bloomfield Fire Department, and today our tour guide will be Fire Chief Greg Flynn.
Here at Fire Station 3, this we think is an appropriate place to start. You're actually looking at behind me here back in 1954 what the fire station looked like here on the grounds. Some interesting little facts about this feature wall here that's in our main gathering space within the engine house. Where you see here West Bloomfield Fire Station, we captured that and brought that inside the new building. And these bricks that you see right here are bricks from the original building, and those are just to keep a little bit of our history. And this is a piece of memorabilia that was in the watch room, and residents could come up and ring a bell to get the attention of the firefighters well before all the different kinds of alarms and things that would go off inside the engine house.
I know you're at home wondering, do firefighters eat? And if so, where and how? Well, I got the answers you're looking for right here.
Table that you see here was made by one of our firefighters, and in the pictures that I showed you, there was a large oak tree that had to come down, and we were able to capture pieces of that oak tree, and that's what this is. It's a completely stainless steel kitchen. That's very purposeful. You might even hear a little bit of a kind of an echoey sound from in here, and a lot of that was it wasn't purposeful to make it echo. It was purposeful to make it very easy to clean and disinfect, and this really is something I think that came onto everybody's mind. We weren't planning for a pandemic, but this is a very easy surfaces for them to disinfect and clean.
Our firefighters are working on 24-hour shifts, so they want a place that's comfortable for everybody.
All the things that you would do at home, we need to create that here. And when you're here for 24 hours away from your family, I think we all agree if we're traveling or we have to be away on business, you want to be comfortable wherever you are because it makes that time away just a little bit more tolerable. Each firefighter will have an assigned room for the day. They have their own sink, their own toilet, and then their own shower. And what this has done for us is we moved away from the traditional kind of male-female locker rooms, male-female, areas. And now the individual, regardless of how they identify or, being respectful of all of the different folks of this inclusive, diverse workplace culture that we continue to develop here at the WBFD, this makes it very easy for us to pivot to whoever's scheduled here at the fire station.
I hope you enjoyed our tour today. Make sure you gather your belongings on your way out. And reporting for The Splash, I'm Jake Kustash.
For more, you can visit civiccentertv.com/firestationtour. It's time to check in with our community on the weekly segment, Testing the Waters. I stopped by and met with some of the people in our community to see what they've been doing to keep themselves entertained indoors with all the recent bad weather we've been having.
The past few weeks here in Michigan have been nothing but rain. It's been hard to be outside. What have you been doing to entertain yourself indoors during all this rain?
I really like going to club Pilates. I feel like it's a good way to get exercise in, especially with all the rain.
Well, we went to the archery range down near Drake to pass the time when it was kind of rainy.
I actually just stay and I work indoors.
I've honestly been taking up reading. I think I've read maybe 12 books since the summer started.
We're just keeping ourselves physically busy, even if it rains outside.
Well, hopefully the sun can stay out for a little while around here, but if not, we have a whole new list of activities. Reporting for The Splash, I'm Erica Jones.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we return, I'll sit down with Sammy Dustman from Sammy's Sweats.
Don't go away. You're watching The Splash on Civic Center TV.
I'll be seeing you in all of our favorite places with laughter and warm embraces all day through. The park where we play the stoop across the way, that favorite cookie smell and Big Bird's tree we love so well. I'll be seeing you. I'll be seeing you.
I love you too.
With free COVID-19 vaccines, sunnier days are ahead. Visit getvaccineanswers.org.
I'll be seeing you.
And now, back to The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Welcome back to The Splash. I'm Erica Jones, and this week I'm joined by Sammy Dustman, who is 16 years old, and she started her own clothing brand. So hey, Sammy, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
Good. So tell us a little bit about this clothing brand. I know you said you started it actually as a school project, so you probably didn't think it was going to turn into something bigger. Tell us about that.
Well, I started it as my school project a year and a half ago, I think about, and then during quarantine just expanded from there.
Yeah, but tell us specifically, what is this clothing brand, what's it called, and where you got the inspiration for it to do it as your school project?
It's called Sammy Sweats, and it's a custom tie-dye and bleach dye clothing company. And I got the inspiration because I took a tie-dye class, and I really enjoyed doing it. And my stuff, I thought, turned out pretty well. So then I decided to keep doing it from there for my school project.
Yeah, and then what are the requirements for this school project? Is it something that's supposed to be creative, or did you have any guidelines, or was this totally just your own idea?
Well, it was supposed to be something that could impact the environment. So when I originally did it as my school project, I donated all the money for it to Adopt a Family, and we ended up being able to buy everything and more on their wish list.
Yeah, so you said you originally got the inspiration to do the tie-dye thing from taking a class with your mom and your aunt, but at the time, did you have the idea that maybe that could be what you did, or was it totally just random that you took the class and then you were like, hey, this stuff is nice, maybe I could do that?
It was totally random. I had no idea before I started it that that's what I was going to do.
Yeah. So then you said you've expanded since, and during quarantine is when you really turned it into your business and you named it Sammy's Sweats. So tell me a little bit about that transition from just the school project to really making it your own thing. How did you start to market yourself and reach an audience of people to sell to?
Well, I started originally just on Instagram, and then from Instagram, I've used like influencers platforms by getting them to wear my products to get their viewers to see my stuff, so then it expands to a much broader audience than what it just would be if I was just promoting it myself.
Yeah, so do you have one of your custom things that you can show us?
Yeah, I have these tie-dye joggers that I made. There.
Wow, those are so cool. And tell us a little bit about the process. If someone wants to order something, where do they go? How do they get in contact with you? Do you have an order form? Do they pick the colors? How does it all work?
Well, you can look at kind of options on my Instagram, but everything is ordered off of my website, which is sammysweats.com. And it's basically like any other clothing website that you would look at. Like, you just pick what you want, and it's pretty easy to order what you want.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about how your pricing works. Is it based on the amount of colors, or do you have a set rate for everything? And how did you determine what you were going to charge for everything you sell?
Well, I kind of took into factor like how much work and how much time it goes into it, because everything takes hours to do. Like, it's much more than just dyeing it. Like, you have to wash it, you have to let it sit for 24 hours. Like, it takes a long time to make everything happen and turn out well. And also, a lot of my orders I ship across the country, so I have to take that into consideration too. And the quality of the clothing that I use too, that goes into it also.
Yeah, so obviously tie-dye is very, very messy, and I know you've been doing this for over a year now, so it hasn't always been warm outside since you've started doing it. So if it's cold, or even in the summer, if it's raining, where do you go? Where do you do this if you can't always be outside?
I go into my house and do it, which is definitely not the most ideal, but that's what I have to do during the winter and when it's raining.
Yeah. And do you have a most popular item that you sell? What do people like? Sweatshirts, sweatpants, shorts?
Either the college shorts, because like right now especially, it's like a big thing, everyone getting into school and going to school, or just like the classic like rainbow tie-dye sweatpants. That's a big one too.
So how much time does this take up of yours? I know you talked about the time that goes into each individual item, but overall, is this like a full-time job for you, or on a weekly basis, how much time would you say you're spending on it?
Well, I think it just depends like how much time I have that week to do it. So sometimes I'll do a ton of it the whole week. Sometimes I only do it over a couple of days, but normally I'm doing it, at least something I'm doing every day.
And I know we touched on this a little bit, but custom apparel, custom tie-dye is a thing that a lot of people took up. More so, I think, when we were all locked away and we had not much else to do. But how do you differentiate yourself from just any person who goes to Michael's and buys dye and thinks they can make something?
Well, I really tried to make different things besides for just tie-dye. So just things that anyone can find. So even if it's just like bleach, or if it's tie, or if it's shorts, like there's a ton of different things that I don't think everyone who just started during quarantine has as much variety.
And then how have the items that you sell changed based on the different seasons? In the summer, are you selling a lot more tank tops or sweat shorts versus sweatpants and sweatshirts, or do people still like to buy the same kind of sweats all year round?
Well, during the summer, people will buy more shorts and tank tops, but definitely all year round, people will buy sweatpants and sweatshirts.
Yeah. And I know you touched a little bit about the quality of the apparel you use, but do you have a specific brand of apparel that you use to dye, or do people get to decide what they want, or how does that work?
Well, I have a couple of different options on my websites. Like, I'll have like brands like Champion that I could dye on, but then there's also just like the typical sweatshirt that you could find wherever, like white sweatshirt.
Yeah, and do you quote each item individually, or if I go on your website, can I find your prices there?
If you go onto my website, you can find it there.
All right, well, that's great. Is there anything else that you want us to know about your business and the future of it, or anything else people should know in general?
I don't think so.
All right, awesome. So just tell us again where we can find you specifically, what's your website, what's your Instagram?
My Instagram is just Sammy Sweats, and then my website, which it's linked to my Instagram too, but it's sammysweats.com.
All right, Sammy, well, thank you so much. It's been so nice talking to you, and I'm super excited to check out more of the stuff you've done.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate talking to you.
Thanks so much for being here. It was great talking to you, and I'm super excited to check out more of your sweats on your website. Once again, we've been joined by Sammy Dessman. We're going to take one final break, and when we return, we're going to spotlight someone who works very hard to keep our community stay both physically and mentally healthy.
Don't go away. You're watching The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Can I ask you a question? Why did you get your kids vaccinated?
It was hard for them to social distance, to be isolated from their friends.
I want them to get back to school and sports games. So as a pediatrician, I recommend the vaccine to everyone I know.
The boys lost a former teammate and classmate who was only 20 years old. It's been a devastating year.
We want to get back to normalcy. Our daughter is really looking forward to being with her friends, being a kid.
And now, back to The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Welcome back to The Splash. I'm Erica Jones. Now it's time for our final segment, Person of the Week. This segment is where we highlight special people in our community who are inspiring and providing towards others. This week's recipient is Lisa Savarinsky, fitness instructor and independent consultant for Arbonne. Lisa is a longtime West Bloomfield resident. She has 3 daughters, Rebecca, Mara, and Ellie, who all graduated from West Bloomfield High School. She's been a fitness instructor at several local fitness centers, including the Sports Club and the JCC, for many years. Lisa's always had a passion for helping others stay healthy, both physically and mentally. When her daughters were growing up, she started a fitness class called Girls Gone Strong to inspire girls to stay active and live a healthy lifestyle. She created a fun environment to teach girls to enjoy working out in ways they would want to continue to learn and grow from outside of her class. The class impacted many young people throughout the community to form habits that have stayed with them for many years since the class. Lisa also works as an independent consultant for Arbonne, a healthy living brand to improve mind, body, and skin. She has created a network of people throughout our community who she shares her products with to better their daily health and lifestyle. She's always looking for new and innovative ways to impact others and keep our community healthy. Lisa's hard work and dedication towards positively impacting the lives of so many people in our community regarding both their physical and mental health is what makes her our Person of the Week. If you know someone who's making a positive difference, let us know and message us on social media with any and all suggestions, because we want to congratulate and acknowledge those who are making a difference in our community. And that's all for this week's show. You can watch new episodes anytime, online in HD at civiccentertv.com, Tuesdays at 5:30 p.m. on Civic Center TV on Comcast 15 and AT&T Channel 99. Follow us on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, and Facebook at Civic Center TV. For all our friends in Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, Kego Harbor, and of course, right here in West Bloomfield, I'm Erica Jones.